what's up guys, I'm Chris, and today we're going to take a look back at Pixar's fourth animated feature, Monsters Incorporated. Monsters Inc. was released winter 2001 and was the first Pixar movie not directed by John Lasseter. It was instead directed by Pete Docter, who is now known for directing Up, and was co-directed by Lee Unkrich, who is known for directing Toy Story 3. Now the plot of Monsters Inc., I will read it off the VHS, goes a little something like this. Top scarer, Sully, and his enthusiastic scare assistant, Mike, work at Monsters Inc., the largest scream processing factory in Monstropolis. The main power source of Monsters World is collected screams of human children. Monsters believe children are dangerous and toxic, however, and they are scared silly when a little girl wanders in their world. Sully and Mike do their best to return the girl home, but they face monstrous intrigue and some hilarious misadventures along the way. So in short, Mike, Sully, best friends. They're terrified of humans, but the only way they can get their power is from screams, and screams come from the humans. They go into the human world, they get the screams, but a little girl from the human world goes into their world and they're scared, and it's up to these guys to return her back to her home. There's a twist in the story, not gonna say. Of course, you have to go see it for yourself, and if you haven't seen this movie, where have you been? I mean, not only is this movie fantastic, has a great story, it's funny, has amazing music, it's also beautifully animated. Now let me explain. Take a look at Toy Story 1. The humans, very creepy, weird looking faces, kinda weird eyes, and even the animators addressed it. They said, yeah, the toys look great, the humans, And then in Bug's Life, they purposely did no humans in that movie. And then Toy Story 2, they got to a point where, you know, it looked a little bit better, but they were still pretty creepy. In Monsters Inc., you have Boo, who is a child, aka a human. But because Boo was one of the main characters in this movie, they really had to strive and make her look believable and cute and not creepy and disgusting. Also, a huge leap in animation for this movie was the texture and movement of fur and hair. Take for instance Sully, he's a giant mass of hair, he's like a giant blue fur ball. Now, they had to animate the hair so it didn't look all clunky and smooth. They had to make it look free-flowing and beautiful and moving and like this, and you know, if he's jumping he has to go like that, and turns it has to flish that way, and he goes this way and he has to go that way. Oh my god. So the hair looked really good. Also, the voice cast was amazing. John Goodman playing Sully. Mike Wazowski was played by Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal, fun fact, was supposed to play Buzz Lightyear, but he declined because he thought that Toy Story was going to fail. But then he was kicking himself in the butt when he saw how big Toy Story was, and he always regretted it. And when they asked him to join Monsters Inc., he's like, sure thing. Now, I can go on and on about my favorite characters, my favorite parts of the movie, my favorite scenes, but I'm going to talk about probably one of my favorite characters in any Pixar movie. Well, maybe not my favorite, but he's really cool. He was the Abominable Snowman, voiced by John Ratzenberger. I loved how these mythical creatures that we talk about in, you know, culture, like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and the Abominable Snowman, or the Yeti, you know, they touched upon that as they are banished monsters from Monstropolis, and that's why they're in the human world. And that character was just way too funny. Also, if you guys have favorite characters, please leave it in the comment down below from Monsters Incorporated. One memory I have about this movie was actually a game, again. It was called Monsters Inc. Scream Arena, and it was only for the Nintendo GameCube. I'm sure some of you have played it. It's a fun game. Now let me explain. It's not based off the movie. It doesn't really have much to do with the movie, except that the characters and the setting is incorporated with Monsters Inc. It is a dodgeball game, believe it or not, and you have your set of monsters and you just throw dodgeballs at each other. I remember renting this game and conquering it. I beat it like 100%. It was very fun. I don't remember if it was multiplayer, but I would assume it was. There was also other video games that were released for this movie based on the actual storyline, but I have actually never played those. I believe some of those were on the PlayStation and possibly on the Nintendo GameCube, but I never actually played them. Also, if you've ever been to Disneyland in Anaheim, California, at the California Adventure theme park, they have a Monsters Inc. dark ride called Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue. It's a very fun ride. You go through all the events in the movie in a dark ride style, which is basically like you're in a little car. It goes slow through the tracks, it's dark, and you see scene by scene unfold. Very cool ride. I rode it for the first time with Christian. We actually vlogged about it, and you can see that. I'll put an annotation in the description down below. Check that out. Also, if you've ever been to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, there's a live show where guests can interact with Mike and other characters from the Monsters, Inc. universe called Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Very, very cool and very high-tech show, and it's hard to explain what it is actually. It's like an improv comedy sketch where you watch Mike and other monsters do jokes, and they're all computer animated and they're on these screens, but there's a stage, and they actually interact with the guests in the crowd in real time. I can't really understand how they do it. I mean, I know there's got to be some logical way to explain it. It's something you have to see for yourself to make sense. I probably just confused all of you on what this show is actually about, but just if you're ever at Disney World, at the Magic Kingdom Park, go to Tomorrowland, make sure to see Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. You're gonna laugh. It's very, very funny. Very cool how they do it. I'm sorry, I confused myself. I don't even know what I just did. I don't even know what I just said. I don't know. So again, leave your comments down below of your favorite Monsters, Inc. character, and maybe a quote from the movie that you guys love quoting, or you just love saying, or whatever. That's pretty much all I have to say about Monsters, Inc. It's on my top 5 favorite Pixar movies of all time. It's so good. How can you not love the characters in this movie? It's greatly stylized, greatly animated, great story. In the next look back, we're going to tackle Finding Nemo, one of Pixar's highest grossing films of all time. Thanks again, guys. I'm Chris, and you've just been Chris Cross. Peace out.